Good morning, my dear students. It's great to address each one of you once again. Uh, I spoke to you yesterday, and today we have had Dr. T.P. Sureka addressing all of you on academic issues. I came to know that you have had a lot of questions. I'm certain that all those questions have been answered by Dean Academics. Now I am going to talk about something which is very important to all of us as a society, as a country, even for the entire nature. It is very, very important topic and very relevant topic, that is universal human values. You may know all these things. I'm not saying something that is totally new to you. We are all aware of it. But I'm going to talk about some important issues which we need to practice. And in fact, AICTE has made it mandatory that we introduce a course on universal human values in the second year. So when you go to the second year, you are going to have a course on this. But today I am going to share the glimpses of what you are going to learn at the later stage. And some of you may have questions. Why universal human values? Well, what is the need to study universal human values? As if it is something totally new. We know that there are many things we know that they are not right. But many a time, even though we know that they are not right, we do not practice, or we practice wrong values. So let me tell you why universal human values are important for all of us. You have seen, the literacy rate has increased significantly compared to the previous century. But there are many areas that also have increased along with literacy rate. If you look at the mental health of human beings, it has got deteriorated. We have seen a lot of people suffering from depression. I myself have seen a number of people, for a small issue, they go into depression. So you also must have experienced in the society, this is on the increase. On one hand, we say that ourselves, we are educated, but at the same time, we are not able to take care of our mental health. The second, the usage of drugs by younger generation, particularly in the urban areas like metropolitan cities like Mumbai, Delhi, Bangalore. It is on the rise. You have seen recently what has happened in Bangalore, where the police arrested many people on this issue. Even though there is so much awareness, why people get into these kind of things. The other, we see every day in the newspaper cheating cases. A lot of people are being cheated by others. Other day I was reading a newspaper just 2 days ago. One guy was cheated by, his friend for almost 54 lakhs because, he is from Kernagar. He wanted to buy a site in Mysore and he was cheated with fake documents. And there are many such cases that are happening around us. Why these things are happening? We have seen so many murders take place, not one or two, many. And every day, if you open the newspaper, you can see this kind of incidents happening, that too by the educated class. And you also have seen the number of suicides. Even for a trivial issue, people commit suicides. Why? why they take such an extreme step. We also have seen the number of divorces are on the rise. All these are causing so much of disharmony in the society, so much of disturbances, and they will not allow people to live in peace. So, what we should do, particularly the younger generation, because you will have so many issues along with learning, going into higher education. So, it is important that we need to have a clear understanding about our purpose of living, which is very, very important. So, because some of us do not practice values in our life, we end up in facing lot of problems. Let us see. That's why All India Council for Technical Education has done a lot of study on this, how we can completely eradicate. You know that it is not possible to completely eradicate corruption, completely eradicate cheating cases, murders. No, it is not possible, but can we minimize? I think all of us work together as a team, it is possible to create a better society. That is the objective of the universal human values. Now, let me tell you what is a value. First of all, in order to understand the universal human values, we need to know what is a value. You know, what is valuable? You have joined for engineering degree. The BE degree is valuable to us. The master degree is valuable to us. A bike is a valuable to us. It is a value. A home, a friend, a watch, a laptop, a mobile phone, many such things are valuable to us. So what is valuable is a value. I'm not talking about this value. I'm talking about human value. What are the characteristics of human values? Now, when you say, okay, it is a human value, this is not a human value. What that distinguishes is important to us. Now, if you ask me, one is any human value has to be universal. What do I mean by universal? It means the content needs to be universal, applicable to all human beings, and be always true at all places. It means you should not depend on the sect, depend on the creed, nationality, race, gender. If it is, if something is a value to you, it should be a value to me. If something is a value to me, it should also be a value to others in Bangalore, New Delhi, New York, London, everywhere. It has to be universal. Not only universal, not only today it is a value, it was a value yesterday, it is going to be a value tomorrow. So, any human value, if you say that it is a value, for example, you take love, it is a value. Affection is a value. Trust is a value. Trust was a value yesterday. It is a value today. It is going to be a value tomorrow. It is a value not just within India. You go to any other country, trust is a value. So it has to be universal in its characteristic. The second, the second thing is what is the characteristic of a human value? It has to be rational. When you think, oh, is trust a value? Yes. If you trust me, I trust you. If you trust your parents, they trust you. It is a value. If you trust your friend, the friend will trust you. Okay. If you love your friend, the friend will love you. It is a value. And you can think logically and verify, yes, it is a value. It must be amenable to logical reasoning. Simply you cannot say that, oh, sometimes people will have a belief. Let us say you are going somewhere, suddenly a cat crosses the road. We have a belief that something wrong is going to happen. It is a blind belief. You don't have a logical reasoning for that. Sometimes we say that we need to get up when you early in the morning. When you get up, you have to turn to the right and get up. It is a blind belief. So they are not amenable to logical reasoning, but a value is accessible to logical reasoning. It is rational. Okay, when you think logically, every human being, because of natural acceptance, they agree. Yes, it is a value. The next characteristic of a human value is it must be verifiable. Wherever you go, you say that, okay, milk is in white color. Wherever you go, the milk is white. You can verify. So similarly, the truth, love, affection, gratitude, you can verify wherever you go. They are verified. The student should be able to verify the values on one's own right. And they should not be asked to believe just because it is stated in the course. So you can verify, yes, whether this is a value or not a value, you can verify. Then the last point, remember, this is very, very important, an important characteristic of a human value, that is, it should lead to harmony. Any value must lead us to harmony. Otherwise, no point in practicing such a value in our life. So, we values have to enable us to live in peace and harmony within ourselves as well as with others. When I say with others, with other human being and also the rest of the nature. Now, all the entire society has to live in harmony, has to live in peace. Only then, yes, everyone is practicing human values. So I want to say that the four characteristics of human values are: one is universal. Wherever you go, you can verify. It is rational. And finally, when you practice those things, it will lead to harmony. It will lead to happiness. So then, yes, it qualifies to be a value. It qualifies to be a human value. Otherwise, it is not a human value. Now, let us move on this. Let some of the examples of human values. Yeah, many examples. I will tell you a few things because in this 40 minutes, in fact, I have attended this workshop for a week, which was conducted by AICTE a few months ago during the lockdown period. I really enjoyed that workshop. And in fact, after we learned, along with three of my colleagues, we underwent this workshop. We also taught this workshop to all our colleagues in the institute. So thereby, we believe that not just we should know, we want our students to be aware of human values. Now, one is the trust. Many times the trust is lacking even between the friends, even within the family, between the teachers and the mentors, between the teachers, in the society. The trust is very important. It is called the foundational value. Very basic value. You need to trust us. And as a faculty, we need to trust our students, which is very, very important. Similarly, the parent must trust their children, and children must trust their parents' intention. So when there is so much of trust, many things happen automatically. Everything fall in place. So the trust is the foundational value. The second one is the respect. Dear students, you need to respect every other human being. It is said that human being is made up of two parts. One is the self, other one is the body. Okay, the self and the body. Yourself, your SELF self, my SELF self, or somebody's self are all identical. What differs is only the body. That's why I also should respect you, because yourself and myself are identical. Yourself and your parents' self is identical, only the bodies are different. Because how we have been brought up, we have certain value system. But remember, as I've already mentioned, those values, if you want to practice, must have the characteristics of universe. It has to be universal. It must be verifiable. It must be rational. It must lead to harmony. So some of the values is, the first one is the trust. The second one is the respect. Remember, you need to respect every individual in the society, not based on whether they are rich or poor, whether they are educated or uneducated, just because they are human beings. All the human beings are identical. Everyone has a self and a body. We need to respect the self. So assume that you develop such behavior, let me tell you, people will start respecting you. So as teachers, we need to respect every student. Obviously, we get respect. This is the second important value. The third one is the gratitude. Your parents do so much for you. Sometimes they sacrifice their life. Do you express your gratitude to your parents? Gratitude to your brothers, sisters, friends. Whenever somebody helps you, do you express gratitude? Because I know the students through who joined our institute through Comet K, through management quota, or through CET. Your parents have spent so much. Sometimes they struggle to get a seat. Do you say thank you so much for that? That is the gratitude. We need to express the gratitude. See, assume that if you do not practice, we don't qualify to be human beings. So the care, sometimes, your parents are not in good health, friends are not in good health, or somebody is not in good health. Do we care for them? Do we take care of your body? Many a time we don't take care of our body. Body is an instrument that allow us to do many things in life. But do we take care of it? What do I mean by taking care of it? Do we provide proper food? Do we indulge in eating something even though body does not require it? Many a time we don't take care of our own body. As a result, we end up having depression. We end up having many issues with the body. It could be the blood pressure, diabetes, hypertension. There are many other diseases, which I do not want to mention, but I have seen young people suffering from heart attacks. Why? We don't take care of our body. We don't take care of our own parents many a time. What kind of values we practice in our life? Just think it over. Is that right? If it is right, let us do it. When we come to know that it is not right, why do we practice when it is not a value? It is not a human value. So care and love. We need to love each and everybody in this world. Many a time we have prejudice. We love only certain set of people, which is not. We must love our parents, must love our own brothers and sisters. Because something, assume that you are going on a bike, somebody crosses suddenly in front of you, you scold. Assume that that person happens to be your own brother or sister. Do you scold? You will not scold, right? Because you have so much affection for your own brother and sister. But many a time we don't express the same thing for others. So there are many human values, but I have mentioned only a few due to lack of time. Maybe at the later stage I will discuss, because this is supposed to be an interactive session. But you know that because of online, we are not able to make it interactive. But let me tell you one thing, human values are very, very important. We need to understand. We need to practice. Now let me move on. How do you practice human values? I have just mentioned the 5 values. How do you practice these human values? We have seen many people practicing these human values around us. Okay, and we are also practicing. But do we practice these human values consistently throughout our life? That is more important. Sometimes we give up human values in a difficult situation. That should not happen. We should practice even in a difficult situation. Then, yes, we become very good. So, one is through self exploration. We need to self explore each day. We need to spend a couple of minutes every day having a dialogue within your own self. Okay, verify it on your own right on the basis of natural acceptance. Okay, can I do this? Can I do that? Shall I tell a lie? Shall I do this? Shall I do that? I think you need to have a dialogue and you need to explore yourself. And if it is acceptable to you, yes, you do it. If it is not acceptable, remember everything, whatever we think, many a time it tells us, okay, you can do it. When it tells us you can do it, you'll have a lot of happiness. When there is unhappiness within us, it means that something, the natural acceptance is not there for us to do that thing. Let us say I want to cheat someone. My conscience will not permit me to do. I need to do forcibly. So when I do the self-exploration, it will not permit me to do it. Even assume that I do it, I cheat somebody. Let me tell you, it reminds me that I did a mistake. Okay, it keep reminding. Every one of us know that when you do a mistake, it tells us, yes, you are doing a mistake. Yet people do mistakes. Let us say somebody is smoking. They know that it is a mistake. It cannot be done. When they do the self-exploration, they understand it is not right. Also assume that somebody is drinking. I'm not referring to water. When you say drinking alcohol, it tells us that it is not good for health. But sometimes we do it, right? Because when you self-explore, you come to know that it is not right. You can check on any value system. You will come to know, your conscience will tell you, your self will tell you that it is not right. Assume that if you are able to follow that, you become a great human being. You become a great human being. Guys, you have the desire. I'm going to ask you a few questions here. Desire, do we want to be happy? Everyone in this world say yes, we want to be happy. But are we happy all the time? The answer is no. Do we want to be prosperous? Yes. You ask anybody, including me, do we want to be prosperous? Yes, we want to be prosperous. We want to be rich. Are we prosperous? The answer is no. Even I say that no, I am not so prosperous because we compare with somebody who is richer than us. So then do we want the continuity of happiness and prosperity? The answer is yes, we want to be happy. We want to be prosperous throughout our life. Is there continuity of our happiness and prosperity? The answer is no, because the present situation, the uncertainties in the world, it cannot be guaranteed. It cannot be guaranteed. Then why this gap? On one hand, we want to be happy and prosperous. We want to be happy and prosperous continuously. On the other hand, it is missing. It is not there. Why this gap between our desire and our state of being? Between what we really want to be and what we are. There is a big gap between what we want to be and what we are. What are we doing to fill this gap? What is that we do every day? Are we doing something to fill this gap so that we can be prosperous, so that we can be happy? Let us explore this now. There are three requirements I'm going to discuss today. The requirements for human beings. Among them is one of them is the physical facility. What do you mean by physical facility? We need to have a home. Yes, that is a physical facility. We need to have clothes. Yes, it is a physical facility. We need to have some amount of money. Let's say you want to come from home to college, you need to have money. That is a facility. You need to have a bike sometimes, yes, or you have to use the public transport. You need to have a mobile phone. Yes, it is a physical facility. These are all physical facilities that are required for our body. I just told you a few minutes ago that human beings consist of two things. One is the body, other one is the self. The requirements for the body is that, body requires clothes, body requires spectacle, body requires vehicle, body requires a home. These are the physical facility. Body requires food, which is very much important. Without food, we cannot survive for too long. Yes, it is a physical facility that are required to meet the body requirements. Remember the body requirements. Okay, then you also have the self. What is the self requirement? It is different from the body requirement. Self wants to be happy. What we are trying to do, we want to keep ourselves happy by providing physical facilities. Assume that I'm in an air conditioned room. Let us assume that I'm in an air conditioned room. Do you think that this physical facility, air conditioner is a physical facility, will make me happy all the time? No. Assume that some faculty, my colleague, with whom I don't like, assume that. Normally I like everyone. In case somebody, whom I don't like, my own colleague enters this chamber now, what will happen to my mood? Suddenly it means I become very angry. Even though I have the physical facility, that is air conditioner, which is supposed to keep me cool, because of my behavior, because of my emotions, I get angry. So physical facilities do not provide happiness all the time. You just imagine, I will give another example so that you can relate it better. You like Mysore pak or whatever the favorite sweet. Okay, you like it, I will give you one piece, you eat it, wow, it's so nice. You want to have one more piece, third, fourth, fifth. When you start eating sixth piece of Mysore pak, you start disliking it. You cannot eat. Same thing happens with the physical facility. There is a limitation. There are people who have so many shirts, trousers. Do you think so many are required? It is not required. But still, they love, therefore, they start procuring one after the another. And there are people, okay, who cannot afford two pairs of shirts, trousers. So, do we empathize with them? Do we ask ourselves, do we need so many shirts and trousers? Many a time we don't ask. We want to have only, we believe that only if you have every week or every month one pair of new shirts, I will be happy. Do you think that every day you purchase, will it be happy? Assume that you want to travel in BMW car. You bought a new car and there is a physical facility and you are traveling. Suddenly you receive a phone call that one of your very close friends had a heart attack. Do you think you will be happy? Suddenly, whatever the happiness we had disappears. So the physical facilities are no doubt required, but they do not make us happy all the time. That we need to understand. There is a limitation. It doesn't mean that you should not acquire physical facilities. You should not have a home. You should not have a bike or a car or set of clothes. I'm not saying that, but they are required. But remember, they do not give you happiness all the time. They give you a short time happiness. Very short, for a very short period. If I buy a car, I'll be happy at the most for a month, not after that. If I buy a new home, I would be happy for a maybe a month or two. After that, I won't be. It will not provide me happiness throughout. That you need to understand. So physical facilities are required, dear students, but don't put so much of pressure on your parents saying that I want this bike, I want this set of clothes only, then only I study, then only. No, it is not right. You are not able to understand the plight of some of your parents. Okay, so please understand physical facility do not provide happiness all the time. The second most important, if you, I will just give one. Global food production is 6 times the requirement. Global food wastage is one third of the production. Wastage is enough. Remember, the wastage is enough to feed 1,300 crore people per year. Just the wastage. We do not have shortage of food. We waste so much of food by the affluent people. People who are rich, they waste the food. It is not reaching the poor people. So you just, it is the study done by the United Nations Food and Agricultural Organization recently. I was reading that. I thought, let me share this. The wastage can feed 2 times the current population of the world. Then the second most important requirement for human beings is the relationship. How well you maintain your relationship with your parents, with friends, with the teachers, everyone you come across, which is very, very important. The first one I talked about physical facilities. The second one is the relationship with human being. I told you that human being is made up of two things, the body and the self. Self is same everywhere. We need to respect everyone. We need to respect their views. We need to respect their traditions. Why? I may not follow certain things. It doesn't mean that I need to disrespect others just because they don't subscribe to my views. Views do differ. Remember, our body has many, eyes requirements are different. I cannot say even the 5 fingers are not equal. People are different. They need to have different views. We need to learn to agree to disagree. Agree to disagree. Many issues cannot be agreed, but we should understand. We need to be sensitive. That is, if you want an excellent relationship with your friends, with your parents, with everyone, let me tell you, this is going to take you to new heights. You need to cultivate very good relationship with everybody. You should smile. You should say thank you. You should say, try to help others. Put yourself in their shoes. Put yourself in your parents' shoes. Understand the problems, agonies they are undergoing. Put yourself in in your own friend's shoes in case he is undergoing some problems. Empathize. All those things are important in the relationship. You need to appreciate. Without that, let me tell you, the relationships will not last too long. Many a time people fight on trivial issues. They say that, okay, we will not fight again. Within 2, 3 days, they fight again. What values we practice in our life? Next one is, before I move to the third one, which is very, very important, I have talked about two important requirements for human. One is the physical facility, which is very much required, which is required for even for animals. You take a dog, you take a lion, they also need physical facility. They also need food. They also need a shelter. We also need, which is common for both animals and human beings, particularly the physical facility. But for animals, the physical facility is limited. For us, assume that I have one home, I want to have too many, three more. There is no limit to it. And the second important quality I described, a relationship, which is very, very critical to be happy. Third one, let us discuss right understanding. Right understanding is very, very important. Right understanding in the self. Many a time we have not understood ourselves. We don't know who we are. Many a time we don't know our qualities. Many a time we don't know why we behave in certain situation that way. Many people have not done their own analysis. As a result, they have not understood themselves. When you do not understand yourself, how can you understand others? So the right understanding, you need to understand your parents, you need to understand your friends, you need to understand your teachers. When you start spending time to understand, spending time on relationships, let me tell you, you can live a rich life, happier life, fulfilling life, which is very, very important. So right understanding is important. You know, now we have three things I told you: physical facility. The second one is the relationship. Third one is the right understanding. I told you physical facilities are required for animals, which is necessary and largely adequate. Once you give a lion, some food, it will eat and then sleep happily. But as human beings, even after having delicious lunch, we think that, oh, this is required, that is required, something else is required. We are not happy. The second one is the relationship. The third one I mentioned, right understanding. Here, which one is more important? All of us are aware of these things, but remember, how do we prioritize these things? You know, the values depend on where you give the priority. Do you give priority to right understanding? Do you give priority to relationship? Do you give priority to physical facility? There are people, they keep accumulating assets and they can never. You look at Malia example. He has so much of assets. Is he happy? He is not. He had to leave the country and he is living in exile in London. There are many such people I do not want to quote. But let me tell you, the more, if you ask, let me ask you, you can just, which one is more important? Right understanding, relationship, physical facilities. Can you put right understanding or you, relationship or just or physical facility? You can just PF. Can you just type which one is more important in your life? Right understanding of yourself, right understanding of your own body requirement, right understanding of your friends, right understanding of parents, right understanding of what is required for your life, how much is required, how much food is needed, that is right understanding, how many set of clothes is required, that is right understanding. I think I am certain that some of you have answered. Now let me move on. If you have said that right understanding is the top priority, let me tell you, you have understood human values. The second priority you should give to relationship. The third priority you should give to physical facility. Physical facilities are required, let me tell you, but you cannot give top priority to that. You cannot give top priority to physical facilities for right understanding and relationship. Let me tell you, physical facilities can be accumulated. They also can be lost in a minute. Not the right understanding, not the relationship. You cannot lose a friend all of a sudden, but you can lose a home, you can lose a bike. Many things can be lost all of people, when they invest in shares, in a day, they lose thousands of crores in a day. Sometimes even lakhs of crores is lost in a day, but that can be obtained back, not the self, that is the right understanding and the relationship. So I request each one of you to put some amount of time in understanding yourself, understanding others, which is very important. The second one on the relationship, the third one on the physical facility. Let me move on. I think I have a few more minutes. Okay, people who give importance to physical facility, they can never be happy. They deprive, they exploit others, which is not good. And people who give priority to right understanding, relationship, and physical facility, let me tell you, they can lead a more peaceful, harmonious life. Not only themselves, even people around them will be happier. Okay, it leads to mutual happiness, mutual prosperity. Okay, so dear students, we should always move. The education means the samskara. It means we should always move from animal consciousness to human consciousness. What is human consciousness? Right understanding, right relationship, and then right amount of physical facilities. It will lead you, though, then we will not exploit our nature. Nature will be in harmony with the people. People are in harmony with the society, and the society is in harmony with the nature. So we all have to coexist properly, which is very important. Now, the conclusion: living with right understanding, relationship, and physical facility lead to living with human consciousness. Human being can be fulfilled on the basis of these three. That is, I told you, the right understanding, relationship, and physical facility. Human values help in realization of human consciousness, which is very important. It is not there. We need to practice. And I just want to close using this. I want and I have. I want, I don't have. I don't want and I have. I don't want and I don't want to have. You know what is the meaning of all these things? I want and I have means I want certain values in my life. It could be the gratitude, it could be the love, it could be the respect, truthfulness, honesty, integrity. I want, I have. You must have those values. Then you are very good. I want, but I don't have. There are certain values. It could be the honesty, integrity, truthfulness, gratitude. I want, but I don't have. Do something to acquire those values in your life. I don't want, and I have. People get angered. They get angry so often. They sometimes they will have a mind to cheat others. I don't want, but I have. So you should do something to, remove those values from us. Then finally, I don't want to, like smoking, drinking, taking alcohol. I don't want, and I don't want to have. It's fine. It is very good. Don't cultivate those habits. With this, I'm going to conclude. I'm going to show you 4 pictures. One is Gandhi, who practiced human values, who practiced, not only he preached, he practiced human values. Before telling others, he would practice first. The second, Mother Teresa, she also practiced human values, the love and affection. Abdul Kalam, who also practiced in his life. And finally, Swami Vivekananda. All these great people stood by their values. With this, I will open the floor, the webinar for discussion, or if there are any questions, I'm ready to answer. Okay, thank you guys. If you have any questions, you can ask me. So I will spend a few minutes. Yeah. So I hope that this will throw some light on human values. The values are very, very important. In fact, when we had the induction program offline, people from Vivekananda Youth Movement would come and address all our students on human values. We used to take our students to Vasalli, where the tribal people live. You should know how the kind of the difficult situation in which they live and the kind of schools, education they get. We wanted our students to experience and to be empathetic with those children. And there are students from those schools also doing engineering now. So, if there are any questions, You can ask me. Are there any questions? I can't see that question.
We have enabled campus at VVC. Wi-Fi enabled.
Okay. Yeah, VVC is Wi-Fi enabled campus. Yes. In fact, we have the 600 Mbps Wi-Fi connectivity, the bandwidth, and we are one of the best infrastructure with respect to internet bandwidth. So, any other questions you have on human values? Okay, that's it. Okay, thank you guys. I think you are going to have some break, and then you are going to listen to the other people. So we are going to share a link where you are going to answer some of the questions based on my presentation. So we are going to share the link now in the chat box, right? Okay, we will send you the link. We are not going to share in the chat box. So then kindly reply. That is considered as your attendance. Okay. With this, so I thank you all. I hope that you are enjoying the induction program. We want you to give your feedback. Feedback is very, very important to us because we believe that you are like our own family member. It is our responsibility to take your feedback seriously and kindly give positive in the sense any in case you are facing any problems you can give, in case any other issues you can give. And somebody in fact emailed me the college uniform. So even when Dr. TP Sureka was addressing you, people were asking about this. Basically, we do not, so far we do not have uniform. We will, what we decided after this question, we will send a Google form. We'll find out how many students are in favor of uniform, how many are not in favor of uniform. Based on that, we will take the appropriate decision. So we will send you the Google form by today evening, requesting you to answer, and then we will take the appropriate decision on this issue. So thank you guys. Have a great day. We'll see you. Maybe I think I will see you on Saturday once again during the valedictory function. Thank you.